and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deetra. Many of you know me as a teaching wife, and I am so glad that you are here. Today, I'm going to be sharing part 2 of Who is a Teaching Wife. This is a little different from what I usually, well, not really usually because I just started my YouTube channel, but a little different from what I was doing. But I hope you enjoy and you get to know me on a different level. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so last week I talked to you guys a little bit more about my professional background and experience. This week I'm going to be talking about my personal experiences. And so I have my husband here who's going to be asking me some questions. Some of the questions come from DMs that I've received. A few of them come from just my question and answers that I've had in my stories. So if there's anything that you have a question about and you would like to ask, please feel free to comment and do so. But we're going to get started. Let's jump right in.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spend most of my days. Not really. Okay. I am from San Diego, California. I was born in San Diego, spent a little bit of my life in Riverside, but then moved back to San Diego. So I consider San Diego my home. So yes, from San Diego, I have two sisters. One is older, one's younger. I'm smack dab in the middle. And I consider myself a PK because when I was in about the 6th grade, my dad started preaching, and so we grew up kind of as PKs.
So where did you go to college?
I attended Spelman College, woo woo, Spelman Blue, and I got my degree in psychology. After Spelman, I attended school in Atlanta as well and got my master's in community counseling. With a concentration in marriage and family therapy.
Where else have you lived since college?
So right after college, we moved to Las Vegas, and I stayed there for about a year. It was hot, and I did not like it. And then after that, we moved back to California.
Where in California?
We moved to Orange County, California.
What made you pick Orange County?
So the job that I talked about in the last video, so check it out. But the job that we got with Boys Town, California was in Orange County, which was perfect because my husband's from Los Angeles, I'm from San Diego, and it was smack dab in the middle. Worked out.
What got you to move to Texas?
Oh, so Texas. My husband had actually wanted to move to Texas when we left college. Before we went to Nevada, he wanted to do Texas or Florida, and I was like, neither. I want to go closer to home. And so during that time when we were home in Orange County, my husband was like, maybe we should move to Texas. And I was like, absolutely not. And so we were praying during that time and just asking God for like what we should do and what was our next move because we were building a family, growing a family. And Texas was just one of those places that he was interested in, and with a lot of prayer and really seeking God, we ended up here in Texas.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your kids. How many kids do you have, and tell me about their personalities.
Okay, so I have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. My son, who is the oldest, he's 9. My middle daughter is soon to be 7. She'll be 7 in October. And the baby will be 2 in a couple days. Their personalities, okay. So if I could describe their personalities using candy, I would say my son is a bag of Skittles. I mean, he's energetic, vibrant. He's got all the personality. He's fun. He loves to have a good time. He's active. Yeah, he reminds me of a bag of Skittles. My middle daughter, she reminds me of Sour Patch Kids. Like, she is sweet and sour all in one, depending on, what bite you take. She's very super sweet, and she likes to be the peacemaker, but at the same time, she can cause a little bit, she can cause some issues if she's having a soury day. So I like to say she's like a Sour Patch Kid. The baby, I would describe her as a fireball. Um, Spicy, um, strong flavor. She is a ball of fire.
So how are you navigating the toddler stage?
I would say with the toddler stage, of course, I have with three children. All of them are completely different, and the toddler stage look different for each of them. But with my current toddler, the thing that I always keep in mind is that toddlers, even though their brains are not fully developed and they're constantly developing, and these are the formative years of their lives, there's a lot that they do understand and that they are capable of doing and understanding. And so that really it helps me with navigating that age and that stage, because I think I mentioned in my last video that we started off parenting teenagers. And so working our way from that stage back has given me insight as far as like, okay, if we don't address these behaviors now in this stage, this is kind of what it looks like in the adolescent and teenage stage. So with navigating the toddler stage, I always keep in mind that they are capable of a lot more than we often give them credit for, that they know a lot more than we think that they know, and also that this stage is going to be different for like my youngest daughter than it was for my middle daughter and even my son. So making sure that I also remember that she's not the same person as the other two.
So tell us about homeschooling.
So I've been homeschooling, I think, for about almost 5 years now. And each year it has looked completely differently. The first year or two, I struggled the most with adjusting, with learning that homeschooling is not just schooling at home, but it's just taking complete ownership of my children's education. And so I had that huge learning curve because I was not homeschooled myself. But homeschooling has been a journey, and I'm learning a lot as my children's parents, as their parent, as their teacher, as their mom, and then also they are teaching me so much. So a lot of the things that I share as the teaching wife come from lessons that I've learned from my own children.
Tell us about your home birthing experience.
Yeah, that is another leap of faith. So with the home birthing experience, I didn't even know that was an option, that birthing at home was an option. I know in California they do have midwives and that kind of thing, but it was never offered. So when I was pregnant with my firstborn, the only thing that I knew was to go to the hospital. That was just the only thing talked about, and I thought that was really the only option. And so with him, I did not want to do the epidural. I wanted to have a natural labor and delivery, but I felt like I was kind of pushed to have the epidural. Not pushed, but like strongly encouraged to have the epidural. And so went ahead, did that, and then also I ended up getting the episiotomy, which I had no idea what that even was, and didn't find out until after the fact, but it was very painful. And so had that, and so then the second birth, my daughter, same doctor and everything. He was going out of town, and I didn't want to birth with another doctor that I had no idea who they were, and so we induced her labor because he was going out of town. So with those two, I felt like there was a lot of control given to the doctors for that in that situation, and I wanted to have something different. I wanted to just do what I know God created my body to do, and also to just fully rely on God throughout the whole birthing experience. And so that's when the home births and midwives and all that came into play. My daughter, the middle daughter, was dancing, and she was in class with my friend, and my friend at the time was just starting her midwife practice. And so it kind of just worked out. We had been talking. She had been sharing about her practice and just about midwifery care and all of that. And so God just kind of ordered our steps with that, I will say. And it was a leap of faith. And although it was painful, I will not lie, it was painful. It's an experience that I am thankful for. And I'm so glad that we decided to go that route. I wouldn't do it any other way now.
Nice. All right, so another journey that you've taken is with your hair. Can you tell us about your natural hair journey?
I know it sounds like I'm just doing all natural. I guess I have in my older, wiser, more developing years, I have been on this natural path. And so, yes, the lock journey came along with it, I will say. Um, the lock journey was something that my husband encouraged because, number one, I had a daughter, and it was like, do her hair, do my hair. Number two, we were in Texas, and I was spending so much time trying to do a twist out, and then as soon as I walked out the door, that twist out was gone. And so that was just a lot of time. Number three, I needed to feel comfortable with being who I was and accepting my hair the way it was, and not like trying to flat iron it or press it or perm it, whatever, to be like everyone else, but to just be comfortable with being me and accepting the full me. And for me, a part of that was my hair. And so the lock journey was, or is, it's just me being able to accept the process of the natural state of my hair and who I am.
All right, so we're gonna end this off on like future family goals. What do you have planned, or what do you see as the vision for our family?
For our family, number one is discipleship. For me and my husband, I just really want to make sure that we are training up our children in the Lord, because that to me is the most valuable thing that we can give them. So we will continue to do that, but then also encouraging other families in that way. And so with our family, we also see investing in our time together. And so I like to say presence is more important than presence. And so we can give them a lot of things, but we truly desire to give them us being present in their lives. And so a big part of, like, for our family, what I see is just us continuing to be present with them. Homeschooling has kind of helped with that as well. Just being laying a strong foundation for our family, and allowing our children to be exposed to different experiences that we weren't exposed to. And so that's a huge part too of just what we're doing, and the entrepreneurship and all of that.
All right, so that's it. That's all the questions I had. How do you want to end the interview?
All right, so that's it. Like I said before when I started, if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask, feel free to drop them in the comments. I love to hear from you. I love to answer more, especially if you have anything about mental health or parenting. This channel is dedicated to parenting tips and tricks for you. And so if there's anything that you would like to ask, please always feel free to do so. Other than that, I will see you next week with more parenting tips and tricks from me, the teaching wife. See you next time.